So Glay and I have been working with a young lady for about 6 weeks now. She's 15 years old and she's been pulling her hair for about a year and a half now. I understand there's been some problems with eyebrows and eyelashes, but currently the hair on her head, okay? Now, she developed an interesting routine, which was every morning before school she would take her hair and she'd sort of bunch it up back here and put it back in a ponytail. She'd wear it that way all the time. And the reason she did that was to make it so that you couldn't quite tell, if you're in school with her, you couldn't quite tell there'd be any damage to her scalp or that she's pulling her hair. Before we got started, her parents had expressed concerns about whether or not their daughter was really ready to do this work. And we understand that. We hear that a lot from parents who, because there's almost always some form of at least a parent conflict. On the one hand, the kid says they want to get better, but on the other hand, they don't appear to be doing everything they can to help themselves. But I thought it might be a good idea to go to work with them. So we got started, and this young lady had this powerful breakthrough during her first session, as most of our clients do. This young lady discovered where the control button was on this. So many of our clients, when we first sit down with them, we ask them, why do you keep pulling? Even though you say you really don't want to be doing this anymore, what makes you keep doing that? Lots of times, most of the time, they'll come back and say, well, I just can't help it. There's some form of that. So that's why during our very first session, we always show our clients where the control button is. Because when a client is able to sense control now, they also have a sense of choice in the matter for the first time. And that's usually very empowering. In fact, it's usually a very moving experience for our clients during that very first session. Now, some of our clients take the ball and they run with that. Now, once a client learns that they have the power to make a change and that they have the power, in fact, to make a decision about whether any pulling is going to happen, that their trichotillomania is not the boss, in fact, they are. Some clients just take the ball and they run with that, and that's great, and they stop pulling. Others, however, they need a little more, okay? They need a little more than that. And so this young lady continued to pull. And here we are about now 2 weeks into her 90-day program, and she's still pulling. And at some point we said, look, we can help you out here. There's something else you could do here, which if you do it, will be really powerful for you. It'll make a huge change for you. Either you'll stop pulling altogether when you do this thing, or it'll make a significant difference right away, a significant improvement. What do you think? Would you like to do it? And you can tell while we're describing all this to this young lady, there's your parent, her mom over there is looking thrilled. She's like big smile on her mom's face, but you could tell the girl's kind of slinking back in her seat a little bit, and she's got this look on her face, this countenance that says she's starting to be concerned. That's interesting, don't you think? Here's this young lady that says she really does want to be free of this problem. I got to say, during the course of our work with her, yeah, we'd seen her tear up several times while she's talking about it. So at least some part of her really is congruent about wanting to make this change. But on the other hand, she didn't follow through with very simple instructions, something that would have made it very easy for her to create a huge breakthrough for herself. You got to ask yourself what's up with that. Now, in traditional therapy, they call this resistance, okay? The idea being that the client isn't entirely congruent about wanting to make this change, and they're resisting it for some reason. Either they're not being cooperative or just whatever it might be. But here's the thing about that. When on the one hand, it's very apparent that a client does want to get better, but on the other hand, they appear resistant to it, it's not classic resistance. I'm telling you from 20 years from experience, the part of them that holds back and doesn't follow through, that's because of fear. Fear of some pain, real or imagined, that they sort of envision themselves as having to endure if they actually follow through with whatever this thing is here, okay? So that's why this is so interesting. This young lady, so we got together with her a week, maybe 2 weeks later for another session. We had to take a look at that. If she wasn't following through with her agreement to us with this very simple instruction, what's up with that? And my wife and I, Glay and I, are very patient with this as we speak with our clients, particularly our younger clients. And what she eventually said to us was, well, it's just all going to take so long. I mean, if once I stop pulling, it's going to take forever to grow my hair back. And we asked her, so, I mean, that's true. I mean, so what stops you from maybe starting that process now? And she said, well, it turned out the real fear for her was that as her hair was starting to grow back, she imagined that it was going to start to come out and look strange and weird and different and squirrely and all like this. And her fear was that others around her, particularly her peers, might notice this and think poorly of her. And of course, most of us would do anything to avoid ridicule, the pain of ridicule at the hands of others, particularly those that we care about. And that was the problem. So we had to handle that. So here's the idea. Whenever you have a client which on the one hand says they want to do one thing, but on the other hand doesn't live up to that, or if your son or daughter, or maybe yourself, or a relative, someone you really care about, says they really want to make a change but they're not doing it, invariably it's going to be because of fear that holds them back. And so you need to get to that. You need to ask, what is that fear? You need to be patient enough to be able to take a look at that. You know, what is the real or imagined fear that they envision? And once you can get to the bottom of that and you can find some way to allay that fear, help the client see or perceive that it's something they won't have to endure, then guess what? The resistance disappears, okay? So with this young lady, we strategized, we came up with some really great ideas about what you can do to make the path easier for her, and things appear to be looking really good for her right now. So I'm Robert Mantell with the Trichotillomania Relief Specialists. Just go ahead and scroll down, leave a reply, let us know what you think. Have you found this to be a pattern in your life? Or maybe in the life of your son or daughter or wife or husband or whoever might be afflicted with this? What sort of insights do you get from this? What do you think you might start to be able to do differently to help them create a breakthrough over here? If you have any questions, let us know about that. If you're watching this video at our blog site, again, feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. If you're watching this video at our Facebook page, feel free to start a discussion. Let's have a dialogue about this. Whatever we can do to help, just go ahead and let us know. You can always reach us at our website at www.tric-free.com. And you can call us toll free at any time of day or night at 866-LIFE-NOW. Thanks so much for watching. Here's hoping you have a great trick-free week.